Hi guys, welcome to my channel. I was trying to think of something like a story that I could tell you guys for like a story time, and I was thinking that you guys might be interested in the time that I was robbed twice in about a 2-month time period. So I'm going to put some makeup on so I have something to do other than tell the story. I actually recorded it already once. And my microphone was doing this weird thing where it's making all this weird noise, so instead of using the one that's attached to my setup, I'm using this little baby right there. So hopefully the audio comes out okay this time and I don't have to do it a third time. But alright, here we go. So a few years ago, I was working for a gas station, like convenience store. Now, it was a chain, but it wasn't like one of the big like chain stores. It was one of like the smaller, dingier ones, I guess, if that makes any sense. But after I had been working there for, I don't know, about 2 months, they put me on the night shift pretty much exclusively. Now, when I tell this story to people in real life, I guess it's real life too, but a lot of things that people think is weird right off the bat was that they had a young girl, I was 18 at the time, working the night shift by herself. Now, here's what I have to say about that. It's not about who's more likely to get robbed. It's not like, oh, let's put the strongest, biggest person we have on night shift because they're going to get robbed. It's about being trustworthy. When you work the night shift, you have to be trusted with the store keys, the end of the night inventory, the money drops into the register, the security codes. So there's a lot more to it than just like, oh, you're young, you might get robbed. And I guess, I worked at 3 or 4 different locations for this place. I came in whenever they called me, and I guess they just found that I was trustworthy and suitable for the job. It's also possible that nobody else wanted the job, but I'm just going to think that, they liked me and had faith in my skills. So on, I believe it was April 6th, 2016, it was a Wednesday night and I was working the night shift. And I was living with this guy. For the purposes of this video, we'll call him David. And he came to like hang out with me or whatever, like he did a lot of times. He would bring me food sometimes, but we were just chatting. And I was starting to close up the restaurant. It was like 10:40 around this time. Close up the restaurant. Close up. Sorry, I work at a restaurant now. That's the. I was starting to close up the gas station. And we closed at 12, but I like to try to get everything done, kind of early so I could get out of there on time. So at around, I don't know, 11:05, David goes into the bathroom. And no one had been in the store for like 10 minutes. It had been pretty dead, and I had all the work that I could do like up to this point already done. Everything else was like had to be done once we were already closed. So I'm just standing behind the register, scrolling on my phone. All right, waiting for David to come out of the bathroom so we could talk or whatever, so I wouldn't be lonely. Next thing I know, I'm just minding my own business behind the register, right? 2 guys kick the door open. Now keep in mind, it's a store, right? People are meant to come in. The door's unlocked. There's no reason to kick it in unless you're going for like dramatic effect or whatever. But anyway, so next thing I know, before I even have time to comprehend what's going on, they run around the counter and now they are standing behind the register with me. Now there's 2 guys and the big one has a gun, right? And the gun, okay, for this purposes, this is the gun, right? Has a black plastic bag on, I don't know what this part is called. The part where the bullet comes out, the barrel, is that what you call it? Well, he had a plastic bag here, but you could see he had a glove on, but you could see his finger in the trigger. Now, he's not practicing good gun safety here. You shouldn't just have your finger in the trigger unless you're shooting someone, like actively shooting someone. So in my mind, I'm like, he is going to shoot me on accident. Like, even if he doesn't mean to, he's going to freaking shoot me in the eye or something. But if you ever worked at a gas station, you know that one of the first things they do is train you to what to do if you get robbed, if this happens. So you're trained to give them, you know, whatever they ask for. Maybe press the hold up alarm if, you know, you feel the need to. And to just cooperate, you know, don't try to be a hero. So, you know, he's holding up his gun, he's waving it in my face with his finger on the trigger, and he's like, over at the register, give me all the money. I'm not dying for it. I have been trained for this. So I open up the register and they actually start taking out the money themselves. Now, one of them looks under the register where I kept my things and sees my Coach bag there. Now, this was the first designer bag I had ever had in my life, and I was super excited about it, you know? And he picks it up and he starts putting the money from the register in there. Now, this pissed me off. You know what I mean? Like, I'm already pissed off that I'm getting robbed, but like, you're not taking my stuff, you know? As long as you don't shoot me, like, yeah, this is an inconvenience, and yeah, it's like scary as fuck in the meantime, but like, at least they're not stealing from me, right? At least up until this point. So I'm like, guys, like, can you not, like, I will give you guys a plastic bag. Like, you don't take my bag. This is my Coach bag. I'm super excited about it. They tell me to shut up, and they keep, you know, putting the money from the register into my bag. So, you know, me trying to really, you know, pull at their heartstrings, I'm like, guys, you know, my whole headband collection is in that bag. Why was that what I decided to tell them? Why didn't I mention, you know, my wallet, my ID, social security card, my whole life basically in this bag? No. Headband collection. Just so you know, it's not helpful. It doesn't get you your bag back. So they do that. They grab all of our Newport cigarettes, and then they ask me, is there anyone else in the gas station or whatever? Which you would think that'd be one of the first things they did. They did everything backwards as hell. Like, they really did. They asked for the money first. I would have just ran out as soon as I got the money. They had everything they wanted at this point. But they ask if anyone else is in the store. And remember, David is in the bathroom, right? So I'm like, oh shit, like, I forgot about him. I hope he doesn't come out. But for some reason I lie. And I'm like, no one else is in the store. It's just you and me. Like, we're fine. So now I'm paranoid. I'm like, if he comes out, I'm going to get shot for lying to him, or he's going to get shot for being in here because he like surprises them, whatever. What the hell is he doing in there? Like, doesn't he know I'm getting robbed? I'm just so like confused at this point and scared. I mean, I was already scared. I'm getting fucking robbed at gunpoint, but now I'm freaking out, right? And then they asked for my phone, which again, that'd be the first thing that I'd do, right? But they asked for the money, took the cigarettes, asked if there's someone else, and then asked for the phone. I guess, I don't know if they wanted to make sure I couldn't call the cops or whatever. But I had just got this phone, right? Like, I didn't want to give it up. So even though it was on my phone when they came in, I'm like, I don't have a phone. And I'm like slipping it in. You can't really see my hands, but I'm acting it out here. I slip it in to the back of my pants. And either they really didn't notice me on my phone when they came in, or they just decided like it wasn't worth the hassle and they just let me lie to them without them freaking out on me. All right, let me do my eyebrows real quick and I will be right back. I love eyebrows. Like, if there's anything that I do, like if I don't wear makeup, which a lot of days I don't, especially like if I'm going to work, I put my eyebrows on. Like, it just does so much for your face. Like, it really does. I love them. Anyway, where was I? So, yeah, they didn't take my phone or whatever, and they end up leaving. They run out the door, And that's that. So David comes out of the bathroom and he's like, hey, what the hell just happened? It sounded like you just got robbed. Is everything okay? And I'm like, yeah, I was getting robbed. Thanks for all your help, dude. But no, for real, I'm glad he didn't come out. It just would have been, why have two of us in the situation? You know what I mean? He's safe in the bathroom. They never found out about it. So honestly, it's a good thing. I'm not mad about it. I've never used this palette before, so I hope it's not terrible. A friend gave it to me today, actually. So we'll see how it turns out, I guess. So I lock up, I call the cops, and you know, the cops come, they look at the surveillance footage, ask me a few questions, and that's the story of how I got robbed, right? So nothing really changed. I was back at work, you know, the next day, working the night shift, like nothing happened. Except now I had people bringing me all sorts of weird weapons and things, little concealed knives and whatnot, and people, just nosy people that weren't even there to buy anything, were like, oh, I saw the cops here, and asking questions. But that's it, right? I got robbed. Good story to tell at parties. Never gonna happen again, right? I'm good. That's my once-in-a-lifetime robbery, and now I am good for the rest of my life, right? Right? No, not right. Not how it happened at all. So we can fast forward about 2 months, right? I don't know the exact date. I have the article in the paper about it so I can find it, but I know it was something like a week or two after my 19th birthday. And so that would, you know, make it like June 16th, something like that. 2016. So, remember I said I lived with David, right? So, it's me and David and his girlfriend. Again, I don't want to use their real names, so we're just going to call her Monica for this. So, we're all chilling in David's bedroom, and we are literally eating milk and cookies and watching a movie. Like the most wholesome night or whatever, just totally chilling, just doing our thing, freaking milk and cookies, right? And next thing you know, we're just chilling. We hear this banging sound at the door, right? And we're like, not really worried about it too much. It's like, oh, it's probably David's mom. She probably stopped by. She probably just forgot her key or whatever. So, me and Monica, we stay in the room, and David goes to, like, see what's going on. So, it does still work, so he doesn't just automatically unlock the door. He gets, like, his, like, deep voice on, and he's like, who is it? I don't know why I had to do that, but, you know, who is it? And they don't answer. The pounding at the door just gets faster and harder. Like now you can like tell like, okay, someone's kicking the door in. This isn't someone banging for us to open it. They're breaking the heck in. So me and Ashley exchange this terrified glance, and immediately what goes into my head is, oh my God, I just got robbed, 2 months ago. They stole my purse. Pop quiz. What is usually in a purse? Give you a hint, a wallet. And what's in a wallet? An ID, and your ID has your address on it. So I'm like, oh my God, now they're coming to my house to take my little gas station earnings money or whatever. I don't know. So Monica goes to try to open the window. Like, we're gonna jump out the window and get out of there, and sorry, David, you're on your own, right? But it didn't work out because by the time she even got to the window, they had already kicked the door in and they already made their way into the back room or into the bedroom where we were at. Alright, for some reason it stopped recording, but all I did was put a little brown in here on like the outer V or whatever, this shade. You can't see that. The shade right here. Not that it's like a tutorial or anything, but I just want you to be able to, see everything I'm doing. So they're in the room with us now, right? Before they did get into the room, when Monica heard them, you know, running towards us. She did slip in between where the window was, the bed, and the wall, and she was hidden really well. But when she realized that I couldn't fit in there with her, she did come out to, like, suffer with me, I guess. So there's 2 guys in the room with us. And I guess there was a 3rd guy, apparently, in the other half of the house with David. So again, one of them has a gun, they have masks on, but this time the gun is not covered, so I can see the wonderful death machine. And they start demanding the money, right? This demanding money, like robbers do, I guess. So I'm like, I don't even have home invasion worthy money. Like, I work at a gas station, you know what I mean? And I had like no cash on me, maybe like 20 bucks. I put all my money in the bank like a normal person. And so I tell him, I'm like, I have like 20 bucks. I mean, you can have that. But they seem to think there's a lot more money in the house. So he's not going for it, and he starts tearing apart the room looking for it. So apparently, before I go there, and they also took our phones, which was awful because I tried so hard to hold on to it the first time. And I'm like, really? Like, I really don't want to give this up. But these guys seemed like they meant business more than the other time, so I wasn't about to, like, try to pull anything. I'm like, here, take my phone, take it, whatever. Here's my tablet, too. You know what I mean? So that happened. Anyway, what I was saying was, apparently, it's, like, etiquette when you're being robbed to not look at the robbers too much, which is why they wear masks, right? So if they have a mask on, it shouldn't matter that I'm looking at you, right? And in my mind, if I see you, I know everything that's going on, nothing's happening, I'm not getting shot when I don't expect it, you know what I mean? I like to be able to see what's going on. I don't think that's that weird, right? But because he picks up my beer mug full of milk, and he splashes all the milk right in my face, and then bashes me in the head with it. Like, boom, bashes me right in the head, and that hurt. And at this point, I'm terrified because I'm like, oh my God, they're gonna hurt us. Like, they don't care about it. They want what they want, and they're gonna do whatever they have to do to get it. And I screamed, right? Like anybody would. I mean, it wasn't fun. It was terrifying. So then the one with the gun, he goes, I guess, to go see what the other robber was doing in the other half of the house with David. And I didn't like not knowing where the gun was in the house. Like I said, I like to know where everything is. If I can see the gun, I know that it's not actively shooting me right now, right? So I turn to Monica and I'm like, hey, where'd the guy with the gun go? Or, you know, something around those lines. Well, the guy that's left in the room with us thinks that I'm asking Monica where our gun is, like our personal gun. Like I'm trying to get her to hand it to me so we can shoot him or whatever. Which, newsflash, we don't have a gun, but he didn't believe me when I told him he misheard me. Now he's like, tell me where your gun is or I'm going to kill you. If I find this gun that I just heard you talking about and you didn't tell me where it is, I'm going to kill you for lying. That was like their big thing. If I find the money and you didn't tell me where it is, I'm going to kill you. If I find the gun and you didn't tell me where it is, I'm going to kill you. That was like their big thing, right? But we don't have a gun. I have nothing to give you. All I have is 20 bucks. I have no money to give you, right? Like, I don't know what you want me to do. But apparently what was happening was that David had a secret safe. And I guess they knew about it or whatever. So David was refusing to open it, and that's like what was taking so long. But according to him, once he heard me scream, then he was like, okay, they're hurting the girls, like, this money isn't worth all that, they mean business, I better open it and give it to them, right? So I guess he opens up the safe for him, and apparently he had a few $1,000s saved up in there, so that is a lot of money to give away. Like, I understand not wanting to open up something like that, but I mean, when you get robbed, you gotta do what you gotta do, you know what I mean? So they come to get the third guy that was in the room with me and Monica still and tell him, hey, we got what we came here for, let's get the hell out of here. And they run out the door and they get in this silver car that had a fourth person in it, a girl, and they drive away. So, again, I called the cops. Now, I know they took our phones or whatever, but we had a landline, so we were able to do that because we're still old-fashioned, and that's what's good about having a landline. You can call the cops even when they take your phones. So, the cops come, and some of them were actually the same cops that came to the gas station when I got robbed there. So they're like, oh God, girl, you're having bad luck. Like, what is going on? And, you know, they kind of think about, like, same thing I was thinking, like, you know, maybe it's the same people. Maybe they just came to your house to get you there, you know? I mean, it did seem like a reasonable thing to think. But I'm like, hey, they have our phones. If I can use the Find My Phone app, you guys can see where they're at, and you can go get us our money back and phones back and everything, right? And the cop thought that was like a really good idea, and he let me use his phone to do that. So when I do, though, it's showing that the phone is like at the end of our driveway on the map. And so I'm just thinking, oh, it must not have updated yet, or they must have turned our phones off, or, you know, something along those lines. But the cop ends up going to the end of the driveway just to, like, check. And lo and behold, our phones were actually there. So they must have just taken our phones so we couldn't call the cops while they were, like, actively in the house. But I guess maybe they knew better than to hold on to them. I don't know. So, I mean, that was nice because I was able to get my phone back, but honestly, I would have rather them hold on to it because we held on to it because the cops weren't able to do the Find My Phone. And I still had to wait like months to get my phone back because they had to take it and get it like fingerprinted and all that stuff, which took forever, basically. So they ended up not thinking that it was the same people really, because the fingerprints on our phones and the fingerprints on the register at the gas station didn't match or whatever. Now they were like, and because there was more people this time, they had a car this time, and last time they were on foot. They covered the gun the first time, didn't cover the second time. It just didn't really like add up very well. Like if it was the same people, they'd probably do it the same way. You know what I mean? But when I told my dad about everything, my dad was convinced that David actually had like staged the whole thing somehow. I was like, think about it. You never saw them take anything from him. All that you ever saw was them rob your job and try to rob you. You know what I mean? Like he told me about the safe and everything, but I never physically saw him, you know, him lose anything. So my dad was thinking that he maybe owed some people money or something like that, and he told them that they could rob me as a way to like pay off his debt, or you know, something like that. That's just what my dad thought. So my dad hated David at this point. He actually called David and was like, stay away from my daughter, which we live together, so it's kind of hard to like stay away from each other, you know what I mean? But whatever. And 2 people did end up going to jail, not for what happened at the gas station, but for the home invasion. Now, mind you, there was 4 people that were at the house, but only 2 people that went to jail. Now, for something completely unrelated, David actually went to jail. Now, you're not supposed to be able to be in the same, I don't know, pod, not cell, but like the same jail area as someone who you're like a victim of their case, or like a co-defendant, or not a co-defendant, if you're like a victim of their case, you're not supposed to be able to like be around each other in jail. But yes, whatever. But that was not the case. David actually ended up being around these guys, and they were trying to have him sign an affidavit saying that they were in fact not the people who robbed us, to basically get them off the hook. I just got a phone call and it like cut off the recording, so that was annoying. So I did get something in the mail saying that the two people that were in jail that were trying to make David sign that paper did end up getting out. Now, I don't know if that's because they were found not guilty or if that's because David ended up signing that paper. He said he didn't, but at this point I have no real way of knowing one way or the other what the truth is about that. Alright, so this is the finished makeup look, I guess. So, my question to you guys is, what do you think happened? Do you think that David was in on it? Do you think that it's just a coincidence that, you know, I just got robbed 2 times in a row, I just didn't happen to see him both times? Yeah, it seems weird, but it just is what it is. You got robbed, just coincidence. Have you guys ever been robbed? Have you ever worked at a gas station and has something similar happened? I would love to hear in the comments down below. Thank you. So, if you guys liked this video or would like to see more content from me, vlogs, storytime videos like this, anything, I have a couple things, you know, up my sleeve that I'm planning on. So I would appreciate it if you would like and subscribe. Thank you. Look at that highlight though. I love highlighter. Can I just do a whole video of me putting highlighter on my face? Is that a thing? Can that be a thing? Can I make that a thing maybe? Alright guys, thanks for watching. Bye.